Hey YouTube, it's Reese Shin. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment on my videos. So, I don't usually get into politics on YouTube. I may have one or two videos, but in this current climate, and in particular what's happened since Friday, I thought it was time for me to share another political opinion. So, mesdames and messieurs, before I get started, please like, subscribe, share, and comment on my videos. But let's get started. We're going to talk about Mick Mulvaney, and then Trump's comment about lynching. Okay. So Mick Mulvaney, just FYI, you cannot unpass that gas. You cannot unpass that gas. That's the lesson that I learned actually I learned a long time ago. I'm 51, so probably by the time I realized what passing gas was, I realized you can't undo it. Once it's done, it's done. It's done. Like once you say something and you say it in front of a bunch of people and they actually have it on tape in real time, there's nothing you can say or do that's going to take it back. Nothing. There's no amount of walking it back, and there's no amount of blaming somebody else for what you said. They didn't take it out of context. They didn't put words in your mouth. You said what you said. Own it. But of course you won't. According to an article on Fox News, the leaks coming out of the White House is you might not have a job for very much longer. But a lot of us knew that. Hell, Ray Charles could told you that one. As soon as you allowed that to come out your mouth. And you probably got set up. Either you agreed to fall on your sword, or Trump set you up to fall on your sword. You ain't gonna have a choice. Yeah, you're saying get over it. Remember you said that. Now, Trump said that he felt that he was being lynched and not being held accountable for all the crimes that he's committed. So I took this class today at work, and it talked about, there was this algorithm that talked about behaviors. And when he said that about lynching, it just brought to me, okay, it made me think, well, you know what? We should have a lynching algorithm so Trump can understand what lynching actually is, along with Lindsey Graham, who is from, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. In his area, 164 men, women, and children of African descent have been lynched since Jim Crow. So here's my algorithm for lynching. Okay, I'm gonna use what happened to Emmet Till. Okay, I might cry because it still breaks me up. And he passed away. He was killed way before I was born, with about 4 years, I believe. Okay. So Trump, let's talk about this lynching algorithm. Okay, so is a group of 4 or more assailants at your door of the domicile. No, then you're not being lynched. If so, there's a possibility you're going to be lynched. Are you made to go to a secluded area, forced against your will to a secluded area? If so, that may be a possibility that you're going to be lynched. If not, you're not being lynched. Have you been ordered to strip naked? If so, you may be lynched. If not, you're not being lynched. Were you then beaten to death, almost to death? Beaten nearly to death? If so, you're being lynched. If not, you're not being lynched? Was your eye gouged out? If so, you're being lynched. If not, you're not being lynched. Have you been shot in the head? You've been shot in the head, you've been lynched. If not, you haven't been lynched. Was then your body, which was weighed down to a cotton gin fan that you were made to take to this secluded spot, was your body weighed down by that and thrown in the Tallahatchie River? If so, you've been lynched. If not, you ain't been lynched. So for all you trumpets out there that don't know the difference, to include Lindsey Graham, especially Lindsey Graham, that was how Emmet Till was lynched. How other people have been lynched, they've been beaten within an inch of their lives with a whip and hung till they died. Some people have been burned to death, tied to a tree. And we're talking about men, women, and children. They weren't all African Americans, but in America, lynching, unfortunately, is a part of our past. Now, make no mistake, something everybody does need to understand is lynching didn't just happen and doesn't just happen to African Americans. It's happened to Italian people, folks of Italian descent, folks of Irish descent, folks of Mexican descent, folks of Japanese descent, folks of Chinese descent. Anybody that was different than the status quo, there are stories of those folks being lynched. But in America, it's the prevalency of the lynching happened predominantly to African American people of African descent. So, in summary, you cannot unfart a fart. And the next time you want to use the word lynching to describe you being held accountable for your actions, use the algorithm to determine if those signs do apply to you. If they don't, then you're not being lynched. You're being held accountable for your actions. Know the difference.